You've no doubt heard that federal tax dollars are funding left-wing propaganda news organizations in Washington, D.C., but it turns out state agencies right here in Texas are doing likewise. This is Friday, February 7th, 2025.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State. The Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Hey, we made it into Friday. Thanks for starting the end of the week with the Texas Minute. If you have a chance, please give the Texas Minute a rating and leave a review. Believe it or not, this is the best way to help your fellow Texans find the show. Let's jump into the news. Attorney General Ken Paxton is pressuring two North Texas school districts to relinquish documents proving they're not allowing boys to compete in girls' sports. The Attorney General has sent letters to the superintendents of Dallas and Irving independent school districts after learning that administrators in those districts were coaching parents on how to circumvent state law protecting girls' athletics. Federal authorities have arrested a state-recognized South Texas teacher and coach for trying to solicit sex from a minor using the social media app Snapchat. Kenneth Mulkey has been charged with attempted enticement of a minor. Mulkey taught social studies and coached at Sabinal High School in the Sabinal Independent School District. He allegedly sent sexually explicit messages and photos via Snapchat to an undercover agent that he believed was a 14-year-old boy, and he requested explicit images in return. Back in August, Mulkey received a $3,000 check from the state of Texas for becoming a recognized teacher through the Texas Incentive Allotment Program. A professor at Texas A&M University is voicing strong opposition to President Donald Trump's move to shut down the United States Agency for International Development. The administration is doing so on revelations that tax money has been spent by the agency in overtly political ways. Andrew Natsios is a former USAID director under President George W. Bush and is currently a professor at Texas A&M University's Bush School of Government and Public Service. He's characterized the Trump decision as, quote, outrageous. Ironically, the professor leveled his criticisms at President Trump in Politico, which has in recent days been revealed to have been secretly funded by USAID. Elon Musk, in his role as the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, has argued that USAID is a, quote, criminal organization. In a post on Truth Social yesterday morning, Trump described Politico as a left-wing rag and said it had received $8 million in federal taxpayer funding. As an aside, the practice of government agencies funding left-wing propaganda websites isn't exclusive to the unraveling scandal involving USAID and Politico. Over the last decade, state agencies in Texas have given nearly $343,000 to the George Soros-affiliated Texas Tribune and nearly $175,000 to the gossip-focused Quorum Report. It's worth noting also that during that same time, state agencies sent $253,000 of Texas taxpayers' money to Politico. The Texas Minute will be right back.
The Luke Macias Show is your access to what happens behind closed doors in Texas politics. Listen weekly to me, your host, Luke Macias, as I break down what is actually happening in conservative politics in the Lone Star State, a state that we all love and cherish. Listen weekly wherever you listen to podcasts. This show is a product of Texas Scorecard.
Legislation proposed by Republican State Representative David Spiller of Jacksboro would require all local law enforcement agencies in Texas to assist in federal immigration enforcement efforts. Agencies that fail to comply could face legal action from the Texas Attorney General and risk losing state grant funding. The measure comes in response to what Spiller and others describe as sanctuary zones being created. These are jurisdictions in which local law enforcement agencies refuse to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. Supporters of Spiller's legislation contend that illegal activities like human trafficking, drug smuggling, and cartel operations can flourish in such areas. Well, you can find the details of all the stories mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was based on the original reporting of Will Biagini, Aaron Anderson, and Brandon Waltons. Nick Shepard produces the show and gets it delivered to your ears. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. I hope you have a great weekend.
Thanks for listening to the first news of the day for the Lone Star State. This has been the Texas Minute with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.